Hey, B45 family. Welcome to episode 6 of the B45 podcast, where we're determined to stay healthy, get fitter, and live life to the absolute fullest. My name is Ayam Monahan, and I'm your host. If you are new to B45 podcast, thank you. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for downloading the podcast. Thanks for listening. And I truly hope that you'll enjoy the podcast. And if you are a returning listener, if you've been here before, you've listened to another episode before, thank you for coming back. People like you help the podcast, and I really appreciate you coming back. Now, in the last episode, it was episode 5, I actually talked to a good friend of mine. His name is Gary Tinkler. We talked about some of the ups and downs of staying fit. That was a really good conversation. If you haven't listened to it, I would really recommend that you go back and get that episode. It was a really good one. We just had a heart-to-heart conversation. Talked about the time he was playing as a semi-professional footballer, and now just talking about some of the challenges of staying fit. So I'd recommend that you go back and listen to episode 5. And truly, I really hope that you find value. If you're new and if you're returning, I hope that you all enjoy the content and become a subscriber. Today's episode is titled Making the Most of Life. Now, this episode was actually recorded on my birthday on October 30, and I thought it was actually a timely message to share with you, because as we get older, we just have to, it's always good to take stock of life in general and just see, how can we get the most out of life, especially when it comes to health and fitness. If I say the word fitness to most people, typically they'll think about the gym. They'll think about running or jumping or performing some kind of movement to get the heart rate up. Now, there's absolutely nothing wrong with thinking like that when it comes to health and fitness. However, we need to start thinking holistically when it comes to health and fitness. When I say holistically, I'm talking about taking a look at health and fitness from an overall perspective and how it fits into our lifestyle. I mean, personally, for me, I'm an advocate for having a separate time for workout, working out a certain time of the day, morning, afternoon, evening. For example, playing squash every Tuesday with my friends or things like that. I'm an advocate for that. However, for a lot of people have very busy lives and they're struggling to dedicate specific times for health and fitness, which I think you should be able to do that for your health and fitness, but for whatever reason, maybe you work a very intense job, you have 4 or 5 kids you're taking care of. I don't know, whatever the reason is. I think for people like that, you need to start to look at health and fitness with the holistic approach. And this is what I think is a very good starting point for people that cannot find that time. Now, holistic health and fitness, from my perspective, means that I need to consider my existing activities. I need to consider my work life, my hobbies, and then I need to find a way to wrap fitness into all of that. Now, I'll just give you a few examples of what it looks like for me. And this is me personally. I'm usually working on a computer, sitting down most times. I'm grateful that the company I work for sponsored, sent us some tables that we can, sit and stand, and, it's adjustable. And I do take advantage of that, but it means that I'm standing in one spot or sitting at one spot for a long time. If I look at my work life and I take a holistic look at it, it's sedentary. I'm sitting down most times. I'm in meetings, from one meeting to another. So how can I incorporate health and fitness into that work lifestyle? How can I make the most of that particular work lifestyle? I just incorporate some basic exercises from my desk, basic movements, nothing crazy, just some things that, I will do at my desk to get my heart rate up. And I call this movement bites, just something I'll do to get my heart rate going. Now, another example of, for example, a hobby is golf. I love to play golf. I picked up golf when I couldn't ride my motorcycle anymore, so I picked up golf. And I love golf. I love playing golf. Now, golf, as you know, is not a very intense sport. Now, it's intense on your brain and it's intense on your heart, meaning that golf can be very challenging and very disappointing at times, but it doesn't necessarily, it gets your heart rate up because you hit a shot and you're thinking, oh, no, it's going in the water. But it doesn't get your heart rate up from a physical activity point of view, right? Now, for me, I love to play golf and I play golf a lot. And I try to incorporate things into my golf game to get me going. For example, I have a trolley that it's motorized and my golf clubs go on the trolley. So I'm not pushing it, right? When I feel, you need to incorporate a bit of fitness into your golf game, what I do is I either swap that motorized trolley for one that's mechanical, meaning I have to push it, or I lose the whole trolley altogether. I don't take a trolley to play golf sometimes. I just use my bag and I have to strap the bag on my back. Now that makes the walk a little bit more challenging, right? Because golf takes about 4 hours to play, depending on if you're in a 2-ball or 4-ball. And sometimes when I do have the motorized trolley carrying my bag, what I do is I put it at a higher speed and I have to walk really fast after the bag. Or I have to run a little, right, to get the heart rate up. And that's what I do in between shots to incorporate some kind of fitness. And sometimes, it depends on who I'm playing with. I might do some crazy jumps in between my shots. And, if I don't look too crazy to that person, then, I'll find a way to incorporate that in. Another thing I love is football. Now, I'm not going to say football is a hobby. It's just something I've got a love for football. I don't play football right now. I wasn't really very good at football when I was younger. So I'm not all of a sudden going to become so good at football. So I don't play football, but I love football. I can watch football. I mean, any game, any team playing. I could watch people playing football in a park. That's how much I love football. Naturally, I should join my friends because I've got a group of guys that play football on a Saturday morning. Now, because I'm not really good at football, I'm not really confident enough to join those kind of people. Now, if you have friends that play football, I'd recommend it's a very simple way to get your heart rate up. It's a simple way to you run around, get your heart rate up, have some fun with your friends and shout, and you've done some workout. Now, for me, I love football, but I don't really love playing football. So what I've done is I'm helping out with my son's football team, and I try to officiate the games and help the coaches. That way I get some steps in. I'm doing something that I love, but I'm incorporating a little bit of health and fitness into it. So those are kind of like 3 examples of my work, a hobby, golf, and also something that I love, football, and how I'm trying to just incorporate fitness into those things. In episode 2 of the podcast, I talked about a book written by John Maxwell, and the title of the book is Today Matters. Now, there's a quote in the book that I read in episode 2, and I'm going to read that quote again. Now, the quote says, "The secret of your success is always determined by your daily agenda." So if you're going to be successful in your health and fitness journey, you have to have health and fitness somewhere feature in your daily agenda. Now, if your daily agenda is work, health and fitness has to feature somehow in all of that. Now, if you're someone that, again, you can dedicate a specific time to work out, which is what I recommend. I'm an advocate for that. I do that as well. Fantastic, right? But if you're all about work, you need to find a way to incorporate some exercises into, or some, not even, just movements into your life. And if it's a hobby that you do, find a way to make that hobby maybe a little bit more intense so that you can get your heart rate up. And if it's something you love to do, just find a way to incorporate some form of physical activity that will get your heart rate up into that. If you have a personal example as it relates to incorporating your health and fitness into your life and into your hobby and things like that, if you have an example you want to share, I'd love to hear that. So please leave me a comment on the Be Fortified page on Facebook, on Twitter, on Instagram, and on YouTube. And you can also head over to www.befortified.com where you can record an audio message. So back to this whole topic of making the most of life and trying to incorporate health and fitness into your daily routine and into your life. I'm going to just go over two things. Okay, just two things, 2 points for today. Point one, already talked about, is find ways to incorporate fitness into the activities that are part of your life. Now, this is something you have to be intentional about. Okay, you have to take a look at your life and look at how you can incorporate something into your life that would help you get a little bit more active. For example, just let me help you here, okay? An example is if you have to go on a short drive to drop the kids at school in the morning, can you perhaps walk rather than driving? Again, this is just an idea, and it's not going to work for everybody, but if you have a short drive to get to school, that's just an idea. You could walk in the morning and then jog back. Again, point number one is find ways to incorporate fitness into the activities that are part of your life. Now, for me, I already talked about what I do around, my desk. And when it comes to the topic of something I love, I mentioned I love football, and I found a way to make football even more rewarding. Now, I said, I don't play football because I'm not really good at football. However, what I've done is I decided to be a referee, okay? And while for a lot of people, you're going to think, well, a referee, you're going to go through all of that and let people abuse you and kind of say, words or maybe even swear sometimes. But you know what? I don't care about all of that. Okay, when I'm reffing, it's a totally different experience for me. I enjoy to see, to be close to the action, to see the football up close and personal. And guess what? I'm doing a lot of steps. I'm going up and down the pitch. Now, if you came to me on a Saturday morning and said, hey, Ayo, let's go run a 5K, I'll probably say no. But when I officiate a football game, okay, and I've been able to officiate games for under 13s, under 12s, and under 14. Those games are typically 35 minutes a half. So a full game is 70 minutes. And in a full game, I've run over 5 kilometers, right? I would probably not run a 5K on a Saturday morning, but when I'm a referee and I'm reffing a football game, I'm going up and down the pitch and I'm running over a 5K. And then my watch tells me that my heart rate is, a certain number. And I'm thinking, wow, this is really good. And for me, I've been able to incorporate football, something I love, even though I don't play football. I found a way to be a part of football. I found a way to help, for example, my son's football team by officiating the games and becoming a referee. And by doing that, I'm getting some good workout. Now, I'll give you an example. There was a day that I was offered 3 games in the morning. And I said, yeah, I'll do it. And I did a game at 9 o'clock in the morning. And I did another game at 10:30. And I did another game at 12. That was 3 football games back to back to back. Now, what that meant was that for each of those games, I was running over 5 kilometers every time. And I've got an app on my phone, on my watch that records all of that. And it turned out that by the end of that morning, after 3 games, I'd done almost 16 kilometers. Now, I wouldn't do that typically on a Saturday morning, running 16K, but because I'm doing refereeing and I love to do it, it's something I love to do because I enjoy football. Guess what? I'm getting a good workout with it. So that is point number 1. Find ways to incorporate fitness into activities that are part of your life. Now, for point number 2, you need to build an incentive system to reward yourself when you do good. So what do I mean by this? You have to have a way to encourage yourself, because you're not going to get encouraged by a lot of people. I mean, if you're waiting for someone to encourage you for your own health and fitness, good luck to you, okay? You have to find a way to encourage yourself. Now, when it comes to, again, I could talk about my personal experience, right? Golf is a game that I love. I love to play golf. And I've got a group of friends in my local area that's how we catch up. You know, we all play golf and, you know, we talk, you know, catch up, talk about life and, you know, just do stuff together. And after golf, maybe have a meal together, hang out. So that's how it's, I love golf, not just for the stuff that happens on the golf course, but what happens after golf and, you know, the friendships, camaraderie, the social part of it, and just, you know, building bonds, building friendships with other men and just having a bond with other people and then talking as well. I set myself a fitness goal and I said to myself, I'm going to reward myself with a game of golf when I reach that goal. Now, what that meant was that typically I'll probably play golf about 3 times a month. So maybe on 3 weekends I'll play golf. And I said to myself, I'm not going to play. I'm not going to play golf until I hit the particular milestone or goal I set for myself. Now, that was hard for me because I love to play golf. So what I did, I just kind of focused on the goal. I kept working hard, trying to hit that goal. And, you know, the guys would send me a text and say, hey, man, we haven't seen you on the golf course. What's going on? And I'll just kind of say, yeah, you know, I'll be joining you soon. I'm trying to do X, Y, Z. I'm trying to lose weight, and I've got a certain weight, you know, in mind, and you know, I've got blah blah. And I'm like, oh man, you know, power to you, man. You know, we'll be waiting for you, and you know, they'll encourage me. But it was hard because I love to play golf. I love to hang out with the boys. I say the boys, but with the men. After, I like to have a meal sometimes after golf, and just socialize as well. And I love the life on the golf course and what we do off the golf course. And all of that, I had to put it on pause because I needed to, I don't know if this is the right word, I needed to incentivize, and just have it kind of have golf as an incentive so that when I hit a certain goal, I would then play golf. And you know, I had to hold up until I hit that particular milestone in my weight loss. I didn't play golf. And for me, that, you know, that's a way to encourage yourself. And again, you're making the most of your life and you're trying to use what you have to spur you on in your health and fitness. Now, another example I like to talk about is something called a shared value insurance. Now, I've got to say, first of all, this is not sponsored, okay? Vitality has nothing on this podcast. They don't sponsor this podcast whatsoever, but I thought I would kind of put a plug in for what they do. Recently in my workplace, we were introduced to Vitality and I thought, okay, I'll give it a shot, right? And it turns out that when you do certain activities and you work out and you hit certain milestones, you will get rewarded. For example, I like to drink coffee. So if I hit certain physical fitness milestones every week, I'll get rewarded with a voucher to go to Cafe Nero every month. Now, I'm more of a Starbucks person, but you know what? Coffee is coffee to me, right? So if I get free coffee because I'm working out in my garage or going for a run, I mean, I'll do that. Now, that's called a shared value insurance. It's a health insurance, and I would really recommend you look into it. I've got a friend, Bola, who I'm actually with right now. We spent the whole week together. The entire family, my kids and his kids and the missus, we all stayed together in the in the Lake District in Cumbria, here in the United Kingdom, and him and his wife are part of that scheme as well. And it's such a good way to get motivated to work out. Bola works out multiple times a week. His wife is out running multiple times a week, and I sat down with him and we're talking about this particular shared value insurance and kind of comparing notes and looking at the reward scheme and stuff like that. And honestly, I would say look into something like that would spur you on. For example, when I work out up to a certain time in a month, I get tickets to go watch a movie with my wife and my 2 kids for free every month. For me, that's an incentive. In fact, my daughter would be like, "Dad, you got to work out so we can get tickets for the cinema," right? So you have to find something that you can use to spur you on, to motivate you to make you hit those goals. So I talked about the first point is find ways to incorporate fitness into the activities that are part of your life. And number 2 was build an incentive system to reward you when you do good. And I talked about that, Vitality. Honestly, check it out. Again, this podcast is not sponsored by Vitality in any way, but for the number of weeks that I've been with Vitality, me and my wife, it's been actually a good motivation to work out. It's been a good motivation to just get off our backside and just do some workouts. So in closing, I would like to encourage you that you need to start making the most of your life today. Start making the most of your life now, especially around health and fitness. The clock is ticking and life is certainly not waiting for anyone. I sincerely hope that this adds value to you and helps you on your journey. And I hope that you've been able to take some nuggets from what I said, and you will be making the most of your life going forward. I would love to hear from you. So please head over to www.befortyfied.com where you can record a message for me on the website, and you don't have to install any apps or whatever. Just hit record. Lastly, if you found this helpful, I would appreciate if you leave a review on Apple Podcast, Spotify, or whatever platform you get your podcast. This would help the show and would help grow the audience and hopefully help more people move closer to realizing the fitness goals that they've set for themselves and on that fitness journey. Until the next episode, stay healthy, get fitter, live life to the absolute fullest, and be fortified.